Can we get the slides digital? Is another question. Yes, you can. And what we will do is we'll be sending everyone who's attended this webinar a link which will enable you to gain access. And I think also we have an audio recording of it which we will be putting up somewhere and give you the link to that as well. Next, do you have a country-wise breakup of growth in yogurts and cheese? We do certainly have that. Do you want to just comment about, let's start with yogurt on growth, and then we'll go to countries on cheese. Have you got any ideas of particular growth hotspots?
Well,
or shall we refer it to Kevin?
Yeah, I have got the figures. Unfortunately, I don't have the country split breakdown in front of me. As you can see from the charts, you can see where most of the growth is expecting to be coming from in those sectors.
Okay, that's fair enough. And on cheese, any other point? I was going to ask a point about cheese in China. That
yes.
China's this huge market, and yet doesn't seem to have a culture of cheese. Have you got any thoughts on that?
As Richard said, it is still a very low cheese consumption market at the minute. I think, as far as I know, it stands less than, well, around about 25,000 tonnes in that sort of region, which is very, very small. It is growing, but obviously it's from a very, very low base, and it's just not part of the Chinese diet. So I think it will take a very long time before consumers get used to purchasing cheese and regularly consuming it. So I think certainly in the foreseeable future it's going to remain a very small market.
Right, next question. Are we talking only about milk from cows?
No, this is overall milk.
Overall milk, okay. Do you consider imitation and analog cheeses as processed cheese?
Yes, they classify as processed.
I'm developing a new kind of cheese from llama milk in South America. Good for you. Well, that should be good. It's probably extra nutritious as well as extra tasty. Do you have speciality cheese numbers per country? We do actually. We've got a lot of cheese data, and if you want to get in touch with us afterwards, or I suspect we'll get back to you. Would it be considered into these facts? I'm not quite sure what that means, but if you can elaborate, that would be great. I'm going to ask a question about drinking milk and the split between fresh and UHT, because you gave us white milk and you gave us flavoured milk.
Yeah, fresh milk dominates. In terms of UHT, our research has shown it accounts for about 30% of the total milk market. But we're expecting this to grow, particularly as the growth is coming from the developing countries where they don't have the infrastructure and chilled distribution for the fresh milk. So, but it does vary greatly from even within regions. Like take the UK for example, it's a fresh milk market. About 90% is fresh milk, whereas in the same region, Spain is a UHT market with virtually 100% UHT. So there's quite a lot of variation. But yeah, overall it's about 30% UHT.
So the emerging markets are going to UHT because the distribution isn't fresh and chilled, and that's the way it starts. But some of the more developed markets that were UHT are moving fresher because they now have the chilled cabinets and the chilled distribution.
In some cases, yes, but consumers tend to have a specific preference. They get used to the taste, for example, of UHT milk, and then it's not often that they then switch, and just because it's what they're used to purchasing and what the taste they're used to. So.
Okay, I've got a comment here. I'm looking for India-specific data on liquid milk, yogurt and cheese. Can you please tell me how to get those figures? We can get back to you because we've got those figures and should be able to help. And that was about market size and growth rates. Next question is about functional milks and what sort of functionalities. I think you mentioned bone and heart and things like that. Flavoured milks are largely for children. What about functional milks and what's going on there? Is it substantial? Are they major things or not?
There has been some growth in this, although due to the higher price points in recent years, I think the economic situation has probably dampened growth a bit. There's also obviously the whole, in Europe, the situation with the claims. I also think consumers may be sometimes a bit wary of more complicated claims. So I think those products with more simple simple product claims will probably do quite well in the future. And also those which are tackling the really key issues. Ageing population is a key trend, and I think those which offer, say, added calcium and address other sort of age-related health problems will probably continue to do quite well, although will not maybe enter sort of the mainstream market in some countries.
We've got a question here about non-milk milks. I guess that's things like
Soy,
almond milk
yeah.
and soy. I mean, how are they doing? Okay, my understanding is that almond milks are very, very small but quite exciting in the States. I'm not quite sure how far they've gone beyond the States. Soy milk, I think there's some recent information out suggesting that, I mean, some of it's doing very well in Europe, but I think not necessarily all over the world. Would we be able to get all this information in our emails? Yes. You can have a recording of the webinar linked into you, and we'll send you an email about that, and we'll also give you a link to the slides. Are there any more questions? Because otherwise we should probably close more or less there. If there's anything else you want to ask, then you're very welcome to send us some emails. You've got email address on the screen at the moment for the Global Dairy Congress, and you've also got Kevin Bellamy's email address, and in case you're wondering whether I am he because you've just joined, then the answer is I'm not. My name is Richard Hall. I'm the chairman of Zenith. Kevin, poor man, has pneumonia, and that afflicted him this week, so he's really out of action this week, but he hopes to be back next week, and he wishes you all well. Just got a question about imitation and analog cheeses as processed cheese, and the answer was yes. Any information about new cultures? I'm not sure we do have particular new information about new cultures. There may be ingredient and supplier companies that you can go to for that. So thanks very much for attending. We'll email you a link to the slides and an audio tape of the webinar. I do hope that you'll come to, oh, there's one question there which we must take. Do you expect to see a trend in packaging UHT and extended shelf life milk from Tetra to PET? My view on that is that the Tetra is very big and important, and there's an interesting parallel with fruit juice in cartons, where cartons remain in many respects the package of preference, but plastic in various forms is coming into the market, and that's become the case with milk as well, and it's getting better and it's getting more competitive, and in some countries consumers are preferring to see the product in terms of juice and to have plastic with the shrink wrap in terms of milk. Do you have any extra thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think there have been an increase in product launches of UHT milk in PET. Obviously the Tetra still dominates, so it's going to be a slow move, I think, maybe towards the PET, but
it's like all the battles. It's like the battles of the sweeteners, the battles of the brands, the battles of the ingredients, and the battles of the packs. And I think the other thing we'll be finding is that in soft drinks we're seeing more sugar waste-based blends of materials which are PET equivalent. And I wouldn't be surprised if in milk we don't start to see some new packaging materials beyond some of the things that are available at the moment. So just to close then, do come to St. Petersburg. Please allow time for visas. We've got an amazing program, and that's on the slides. And do, if you have any more questions about any of the market data, come back to us, and Kevin Bellamy, whose email address you have there, will be delighted to hear from you. And for the things we've said we would answer specifically, we'll try to do that by email to those who have asked. So it's goodbye from
goodbye.
Laura, and it's goodbye from me, and best wishes to you all. Thank you. Bye.